Hey, Forge fans, it's the Forge Audio Network. This is the match in review. Forge FC dropping points at home, losing 1-0 to Valour FC Wednesday night. Valour had a goal from William McKeel in the 61st minute. And they would end up getting a red card in the 82nd minute. Walter Ponce getting his second yellow, but Forge unable to capitalize. Forge had 62% of the possession. They had 12 shot attempts. Valour had 6. And Forge had 4 shots on target. No goals to show for it. Valour scoring on their only opportunity on goal. Uncharacteristic game for Forge. Not as sharp, a little bit sloppy, not making the runs, not making the passes in the final third like they have in the last few weeks that have made them the most dominant team in the Canadian Premier League, scoring at will at times. And it wasn't there. Now, is it because there was a 10-day layoff in between matches that may have had something to do with it? For whatever reason, Forge was not sharp on this night. So, points dropped. Forge, though, don't have to wait too long to get back into the swing of things. They play this weekend. They play Sunday. They play at home against Atletico Ottawa. But before we get to any of that, let's hear from Forge FC head coach and technical director Bobby Smyrniotis and his assessment of the night.
Yeah, I think we missed a little bit of intensity in the final third of the pitch. For all of some of the good stuff you do, you have to be better in the final third. I think that's where we weren't sharp, where we have been throughout the season. Just looking quickly at the stats, which is something I look at just to see on what we're doing in there. And I think, we could have been into deeper areas more in this game. The opportunities were there, and for some reason we shied away from them, especially in the first half. I thought in the first half we could have been better in how we dealt with getting into certain spaces in the final third of the pitch. We improved that in the second half, but we've gotten hit on one situation, a situation that we knew would emerge in the match, with Valour playing a little bit deeper and looking for the counter-attacking situations with Akio, and that's their one shot on goal, and there you go.
Having Methuselah back in the lineup, he played 70 plus minutes. How does this help going forward, getting him back acclimated?
Yeah, getting players back is always a good thing. He's coming back and he's playing 70, probably a little bit of a stretch is coming back, but that's the reality of where we are right now with players and just waiting for guys to get back. We've got 2 more games ahead of us in a short period, and then we get one of these other 10-day breaks. Today, I'm not sure they're the best things in the world. So maybe that'll be a little bit better going forward. But it's always good to get the guys back. Every step they get on the pitch, every touch they take on the pitch is always going to help us going forward.
Forge had a different look in this one. Ashton Morgan, who had played a lot on the left back position behind Borges. It was Garvin Methuselah back in the lineup. Normally a center back, he played left back in this one, and Ashton Yodiansid and Malik playing the 2 center back positions, and of course Rama on the right side. But a bit of a different look for Forge FC as they get healthier. So at the end of the day, Methuselah getting 70 plus minutes his first game back. That's a pretty good sign for him. Good sign for Forge as they get healthier, and Bobby Smyrniotis gets more options. Now, we haven't even mentioned yet. We will now. It was a big night at Tim Hortons Field. Not just because Forge was playing Valour, but also it was Pride Night at Tim Hortons Field, celebration of Pride. Also a celebration of Captain Kyle Bekker, the first, the only, obviously, player in Canadian Premier League history to reach 100 matches. Bekker doing it all with the same club in Hamilton. And we're going to hear from Kyle in moments. First, though, let's go back to Bobby and his thoughts on Kyle Bekker playing in his 100th match and what it means for Kyle and for Forge.
Played another good game, I think, today for us, and you can't say enough about this guy, and what he does, and just it's easy to see what he does on the field on his good days, and I think I've said this in the past and over the years. Bex is the guy on his bad football day, when the passes aren't clicking or things aren't working. He's still working hard off the ball. Bex is the guy who comes in here every day, takes care of himself and sets the standard. And I think that's the difference he makes in a team. He hates losing. He wants to win. He wants to win everything in front of him. I think he has nightmares when he thinks about losing at the end of the year. And I think that's contagious for the team. And it's an important for the team. And it's important on days like this, when you think you probably deserve something better and how you bounce back. And I think that's the importance of Bekker. And that's nothing to take away from what he is on the field as a player. But that I think everyone sees, week in, week out, you see the quality. I think sometimes it's important to hear the story of who he is in the other areas. And that's who he is for me.
I mean, as far as high praise goes, that's about the highest as it gets, especially from a guy like Bobby Smyrniotis. Bekker, obviously very important to this club. And we need to remind people, when we talk about, 100th match and Bekker, there's this, you almost want to assume that Becker's this old guy Bekker still is in his early 30s. He's 31, and he has a lot of years left and a lot of good years left. And Kyle spoke post-match about the ceremony. Before the match, he got a commemorative jersey with the 100 on the back. His family was on the pitch with him. The pictures, the plaques, great moment for him. Not the result he wanted, obviously, but he was able to reflect on that special moment for him and his family prior to the match against Valour.
Yeah, it was nice. I think anytime just hearing teammates speak and that, I think it goes a lot more than any sort of accolade. Those are the guys we show up every single day and do the business with. So that means a lot more to me than I think they'll ever know. And it's kind of like a testament to why I love this sport so much. It's, to me, getting 100 games, it can't happen without everyone in our locker room. It can't happen with all the staff that we have here. The reason we've got it in this short period of time is because we've had so much success. We've played in CONCACAF, we played in Champions League, we've pushed the envelope since day one, and that's not me. That's every single player who's put on the jersey. So I don't have this without them, and it's truly special.
Yeah, and to think, 4 years ago there was no Canadian Premier League, so it's just maybe just talking about that journey. And did you expect to ever be in a position like this?
Honestly, I'm not one to look too far in advance, so I can tell you straight up no.
Yeah.
And especially kind of with the career I've had, I've bounced around. I've had ups, I've had downs. So being in a place for 100 games it's crazy. I don't think it's really set in for myself yet, but it's fantastic. I'm excited about it. I want to keep going. It's done now. It's almost one of those things now we can stop talking about it. Start talking about the game. Start talking about Sunday. But it's huge, man. I mean, to have professional soccer in our country now, have our own domestic league on top of the fantastic things those three teams in the MLS are doing for Canadian players. We open more doors, we're going to see more talent come up. That's a simple fact. But every single year, this league's gotten better. It's gotten more competitive. You see it week in and week out. There's fantastic players here, and they're going to keep surprising people. They're going to keep turning heads. And with the success that we have with the national team, I think more eyes are going to be on Canadian soccer than ever, and it's a great time to be a Canadian soccer player.
So with that loss, Forge sitting on 17 points. They are in fourth place. Valour now with back-to-back wins. First at York and then in Hamilton. Valour now with 16 points. So they're a point back of Forge. Forge have played 2 less games than Valour. But the way the standings are looking now, Forge in fourth, Atletico, who they play on Sunday, 1 point up on them. Forge also have a game in hand. So they're in control there. And they are 3 games back. They played 3 less games than Pacific, and they're 2 points back from them. Pacific in second place, Calvary in first. Forge has 1 game in hand, but they are 6 points back. So when Forge meet Calvary again this season, those are going to be some big matches. We know how important finishing first is in this league to get that home field advantage throughout the postseason, including the final if you get that far. Forge FC will not be spending much time worrying about that result against Valour. Just based on recent history with Forge, it looks like a one-off, and there's no doubt in my mind. I don't think there's any doubt in Forge's mind. But Forge right back at it Sunday at Tim Hortons Field. They're taking on Atletico Ottawa. 4 o'clock start, a club that is 1 spot up on Forge in the standings. Forge with a chance to pass Atletico and move into third place in the standings. So big match for Forge and a big match for you, the fans. Tickets available now for that match at 4 o'clock. I'll be there. I hope to see you there. Keep it locked onto the Forge Audio Network in the coming days because we have a quick turn. When the team has a quick turnaround, so do we. So we have match day preview coming up, 3 keys to the match. Also, we'll have a focus on Forge and a Behind the Beard with Bobby Smyrniotis. So if you're not already subscribed to Forge content, do so now, whether it's the podcast, whether it's on YouTube. Get it done. Make sure you are getting all of the Forge content first. All right. That's it for me. We'll talk to you soon. Final result again from Tim Hortons Field. Forge FC 0, Valour FC 1. We'll talk to you soon.
We are the Forge, the mighty, mighty Forge. You just don't think you understand.
This has been Match in Review with Anthony Urciuoli on the Forge Audio Network. For the latest on all things Forge FC, subscribe on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts.